Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Spark Your Vision, a podcast where we discuss the latest trends in business, as well as inviting business leaders across various industries to share with us their experience as well as their insights. My name is Chen, and along with my partner here today, Alice, will be hosting today's show. And so today, everyone's in for a treat. Actually, we've invited Andrew Chen, CEO of Woodmax, one of the top drinkware manufacturers in the world, to share with us how Woodmax successfully not only cope with the pandemic, which we've gone through for this past 2.5 years, but also at the same time post-pandemic wise, especially with the latest trends in sustainability and ESG, how that trend will affect business moving forward. So, Alice?
Hi everyone, I'm Alice.
Well, Andrew, we known each other for a while, and we have many similar backgrounds. So, to be honest, I think we could probably talk forever. Not just this next 15 or 20 minutes.
Right.
But it's good to have you here today on the show. Do you want to give a brief pitch elevator speech of what Woodmax, in terms of business, to introduce to the listeners?
Sure. Woodmax is I just calculated 37 years company, and it's a family-owned business. We started back in year 1985 as a trading company. And during that time, there's a boom in manufacturing in Taiwan. So my father rode that wave. We were able to export the merchandise worldwide. And that's how the background of Woodmax started. And later on, we began working with several brand name companies in the United States, namely Costco, and also Reader's Digest and Starbucks. And right now, we are one of the four top key suppliers of Starbucks.
Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah.
So, before we get into some of the trends and business, I'm just very curious about some of the, behind the scene in terms of business, because, obviously he is the second generation in the family business. And furthermore, our background is very similar because we grew up in the States as well, right? So assuming that position, coming back to Taiwan, assuming that position, there's definitely, I'm pretty sure there was a lot of challenges and, even difficulties in terms of the cultural background. I mean, share with us, that experience.
I was born in Taiwan, in Taichung. My youth I spent in the States, and I moved back to Taiwan in early 2013 with my wife and two kids. But now I have three, so I had a kid here. At the time, I decided to come back to take over the business because I just want to help my father and also expand Woodmax. So that's why I moved back, like 9 years ago. So at the time, it was a bit difficult because I had to kind of come back here and learn everything new. My wife gave me a lot of support in just, taking care of my daughters and then keeping the home, sane, I guess. And then also learning the entire supply chain from the ground up was also another challenge because for the first 2 years, I traveled a lot in China, different provinces, visiting factories, old and new, and also learning how things are made. But also we need to control cost and then also build relationship with our suppliers. So those are the starting point of the first 2 years of my learning years in Taiwan.
Yeah, I noticed you started out with family, which I think is a very important part of yourself. And it's very important to have that work and life balance as well, I think, as you mentioned. And, just out of curiosity, I mean, you and your father obviously are the core figure of Woodmax. And, I'm pretty sure sometimes decisions has to be made. There might be some conflicts or, different interests or, I don't know, how do you guys overcome, or how do you guys, delegate decisions, and how do you guys come across, like agreements?
It took me a while to actually think about how I work with my father because he had a say in almost everything, finance, like HR, and also like sales. He took charge of the finance part. I think that is something that I don't touch. That's a very sensitive area. So I just said, oh, so you handle finance. We had agreement that I need to build my team. So I had a say in building my own team, and then also divide up according to what I want to do, what I envision in the future. So, which is great because right now, like our team is really cohesive and then really very efficient. We consider my father like a number one salesman. In the beginning, I work with him. I try to be really just like humbled and then learn. In terms of family business, it's all about how I prove myself to him. I had to prove to my father that I can gradually take over, department by department. The sales that I hire were able to outperform his expectations, and also the design team that I hire design something that the customer liked, and then also can outgrow the original design team. So in order to earn more responsibilities, I just have to prove myself, which I had his blessing.
Yeah, and you started out with good genes too, right? Because he is, like you said, he's a good salesman, right? So you got some of that from him, and then of
Hopefully.
course, the learning process. It's more about doing in action and showing results, and so one step
Yeah.
at a time. Okay, so I mean that's the, we wanted to start out with the lighter side, and now let's get into some of the business stuff. COVID-19, it really struck us, and sort of was a curveball for all of the businesses. No one was expecting this, and how has these past 2.5 years affected Woodmax? And furthermore, with a lot of the borders opening up, and it looks like we're entering the new normal now, right? So hopefully soon. How are we, prepared for moving forward, and even maybe going back to some of the marketing activities that we did before, whether it be through physical events or online? What's your take on that?
During the 2.5 year of this pandemic period, we took a dive in terms of sales because pandemic it's happening worldwide. So we see the trend that we started getting cancel orders from different countries, different continents. But later on, when the virus started spreading to Europe and then the States, it was when the manufacturers factories start reinstated, start pumping out like catching up. But then the rest of the world is suffering from the pandemic. So we have in the beginning like a manufacturing interruption, and then later on we had cancel orders. So during those 2.5 years, we had to not only deal with the quality and delivery time, we had to deal with the air freight or the ocean freight shortages, and then we had to deal with like cost increase. We had to deal with cancel orders and things. So everything got really, really, really complicated. So I spent a lot of money on like conferencing systems, and then we started making the meeting more fun. Not just like another meeting after meeting. So actually, our clients they wanted to meet with this, and then they wanted to see what other interesting topic or some interesting samples that we can show it to them. So having those experience, let's say if there's something coming up, we already have procedures to meet with our clients, through video conferencing. Now the border opens up. We just had a team visiting Korea and Japan, and our client were so happy because we're the first wave.
Yeah.
We're the first supplier that visited them. So we had a great time. Overall, I think we learned how to cope with this pandemic, and then we just had to put our minds together to kind of make everything fun and make all the meetings, not a boring meeting. I think those are the uh, key takeaways that how we cope with to make our relationship going with our clients.
So, yeah, thanks for sharing. I mean, definitely, I think I guess that's one of the advantages, right? The few advantages that we're able to take from the pandemic, which because of the process, you guys were able to digitally transform, and furthermore, from a marketing perspective, be more creative, and hopefully moving forward, whether it be post pandemic or whatever, right? Yeah, you are able to offer your customers different experiences, and hopefully that will give you an advantage over other rivalry competitors, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think the last 2 years has been a very uh, challenging, but yet a lot of a different experience and different learning to how to cope with how to solve problems and the problems that you would never think would happen in your lifetime. So
Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
yeah, hopefully in another 100 years or 200 years.
No, definitely not in our lifetime.
Yeah,
hopefully.
not in our lifetime. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Okay. So let's, one of our topics today is definitely on sustainability and
Yeah.
ESG, right? So,
So as you just mentioned that Woodmax is the key manufacturer of Starbucks. So actually Starbucks has a new policy last year in 2021, and we would like to know about your opinion on that. They actually roll out a policy that which they encourage people to bring their own cup or use reusable cup because they aim to reduce their waste.
I think they want to reduce the carbon footprint by 50% in 2035, I believe. Or yeah, for us, since we are a supplier of Starbucks for the last 20 some years, when the shopper continued to use the single use cups, albeit paper cup or plastic cup, it really affected the environment. Right? No matter how well the recycle process is, making those cups is also adding, carbon footprint. But since it's a global company, different government have different policies. Um, what I truly believe is that with with that policy working with private sectors, I think that transformation will be, in my opinion, more immediate. So I think uh, European Union is doing they're very fast in terms of implementing policies that can reduce carbon footprint, and I really hope that the rest of the world can also see this as an opportunity to really quickly turn our consumer behavior around. Being a supplier of Starbucks, it's great that Starbucks is implementing this policy. It'll be much helpful that the every country sees this effort and then just go along with it, and then having the policy revised up to date to really start shifting the consumer behavior.
The trending topic about ESG, environmental, social, and governance. So we would like to know about how Woodmax sees on this topic.
In order to implement ESG, we begin to have team to learn how to calculate carbon footprint in terms of different materials. We want to be the role that can assist these factories to go through that transition. To share some knowledge with the factories. I think these are the some of the ways that Woodmax can become, and then also helping the factories to transition. Yeah.
So we also see on Woodmax website, you guys mentioned about CSR, corporate social responsibility, and especially on education in remote areas. Is there a special reason?
My my grandfather believed that education um, is the only source of, well, is the is the power to get out of poverty. All the siblings, even including my father, all worked very hard in school and did well in school, and they all become like elites in their own industries. Like we have one of the uh, one of my uncle. He's a professor and also a CEO of the very famous accounting firm in Taichung. And then my father, of course, he's a brilliant salesman. And then we also have aunt that were high school teachers. So so that's why my father believed that education can help the kids to get out of poverty. So that's why we really focus on education. But without education, basically they have no options.
Yeah.
Sustainability, it sounds like it's a key topic for Woodmax. And internally, how does Woodmax, ensure sustainability in its design and production process? That is one thing that maybe you can share with us. And then also externally, I think you did mention, right? I think Alice mentioned, there's a trend with, Starbucks, and Starbucks is definitely one of your key customers. How do you help your global customers achieve sustainability? And if you have any specific cases you could share with us, yeah.
In order to have a sustainable brand, quality is everything, and then the process is everything. So I think having the team to having a specific like sales team, design team, and quality team that can really help customer design products from the ground up, and then also maintain, and then also in the process monitoring every little details to make sure that the manufacturing process can turn out to be good quality and then also safe to use. I think those processes is what I focus on right now. When we propose something that is brand new, that is patentable, we focus on structures of the item, the aesthetics, and then also the usability of a design. So when we propose the idea, before that we would have internal discussion about what type of functionality we want to implement, and how safe this functionality, and how well designed, or if this design can actually solve consumers' problem. So those are the internal meetings that we had to go through. Those will take about maybe weeks just to come up with that particular design. And once we have that firm confirmation from the quality team and also from the design team, then we put that design together to propose it to our customers. So as an OEM manufacturer, sometimes customer they only have an idea, but we have to kind of make that idea into an actual product. So that internal meeting basically bridge the gap between a concept and then also into a reality. So that process is something that I would say a very important element in a ODM process. We call it new product introduction. So it's an NPI introduction to make sure that if the customer select this design, it is already a ready to mass produced design.
So, I mean, to your customers, I think you're not only just a manufacturer, you're really their partners in terms of, that new product introduction.
Correct.
And especially, with what we just mentioned, some of the sustainability trends and all that stuff, I think you're also helping them, providing the necessary experience and support to help them achieve that, right? So Starbucks obviously is one of your key accounts. And I think from that experience alone, I think you've accumulated a lot of the necessary experiences. How would something like that apply to potentially into another industry?
We wanted to leverage this experience into a different industry, and we just thought that, hey, maybe fashion industry, apparel industry can also use our services, because apparel industry is always about it's always about trend, and it's always about uh, what what are some of the uh, uh, new categories that we can introduce. Earlier, we discussed about sustainability, having a, like, how do we reduce waste, and I just thought combining, like the tumblers or water bottles, and then design them into a very trend-setting designs. Also, we promote sustainability in a fashion type of way. Combining fashion with our services would be a good match in the current setting.
That's quite interesting, making almost drinkware a fashionable statement to
Correct.
some extent. Yeah,
Correct.
that's
Correct.
good. That's good. Yeah.
Is there any new project that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, well, two things. The first is, of course, I want to promote NGO partners, ICF. It's a international NGO that's located in Cambodia. We've been working with them for the past, I believe, five years, and we help them with they basically help with the less privileged kids, provide them with like after class education, and also medication, and most importantly, during the pandemic, they were able to assist a lot of families to get back up, because I think Cambodia, they focus their main source of income were travels. Like a lot of it's I would say probably 95% all depending on traveling. So having pandemic that caused all the shops to close down, restaurants and service industry to close down. A lot of families, they all of a sudden became poor. So ICF also helped these families to learn new skills. They really not only help the kids, but also they also help the families to get back up during the pandemic. So I want to kind of just promote this NGO, and hoping that if there are more corporations that's willing to look into this NGOs, you can check out their website, and it's icfcambodia.com. And this is one of the water bottle that we support the kids. I think in year 2021, we gave this is an aluminum bottle because they have their own water. They built their own water filtration system in on the campus, so the villagers can actually come and and get fresh water for their drinking, or for their homes for free. And we support the kids with, I think we make a couple thousand of them for the kids to carry this, so that when they are on campus, they could pack up water for their school. So this is something that we support the NGOs with last year, and this year we are doing something different. So every year we'll have different products that we donated to the kids. And then the secondly would be, we're also developing a lot of like compost a lot of drinkware using compostable materials. And this one it's made out of PLA. It's compostable, and it's in Japan, it's acceptable, and it's degradable. So, and we're also looking into other materials that we can leverage to make compostable cups. And not only you can reuse them, but uh, after the life cycle, it'll just decompose, disappear. So I think that's also another way that we can help the brand to develop these type of products that also promote sustainability.
Wow. So today it's been an honor to be able to invite Andrew on the show today. Just to share with us his insights as well as some of the key to Woodmax successes, I think. And then furthermore, we're definitely looking forward to visiting Starbucks more often, right? Looking for some of the newest up and coming drinkwares, as well as in terms of some of these sustainability trends, especially in fashion. I think hopefully down the road, very soon, we'll be able to see a lot of these fashion brands to be able to include drinkwares as one of their additional accessories, I think. But yeah, millennials might be able to afford that and furthermore be able to carry that around, right? So I think that's definitely a good plus. But anyway, thanks for sharing and coming on the show today. Please do continue to either follow our podcast, Spark Your Vision, but also at the same time, do check out Woodmax's LinkedIn profile, to continue to follow some of the news as well as today's episode will be released. Once again, thanks for coming on the show, and it's always good to have to see you in person.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, and it's great. I had a great time.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks.